What's going on, gamers? Let's jump back into World Box. I've created it's a fairly ugly map of the world, but I wanted to make Europe, Asia, and North America a lot larger than the southern hemisphere. Sorry if you live in the southern hemisphere, but I just wanted Europe to be a little bit bigger because I have a giant Europe and I have a pretty large Asia as well. That's just kind of how I wanted to set the map up, just because it's kind of hard to fit everything in this game. So we're going to have some humans settle in kind of their starting locations. We're going to have America right here. We're going to have Brazil maybe. Let's have Mexico. Maybe Canada, even though I don't think Canada will do very well. Let's do the UK, France, Germany. Let's have Spain spawn up. Let's have Italy. Maybe the Turkey, maybe Saudi Arabia, Iran, Egypt, Morocco. Let's have Nigeria. Let's have South Africa, and maybe Ethiopia, Somalia, something like that. And India. Let's have India. Let's have just one Siam country. Australia, China. We'll do one China. I guess that's kind of south for China, but it's fine. Let's do Japan, and let's have Korea. Let's have them a little bit spread out from each other. And then we'll have a Mongolia and a Russia. And then maybe let's have Sweden also. Something like that is what we're going to do. I think this will look pretty good. Let's have a... should we have Ukraine? Let's play Serbia, I guess. We'll have Serbia. But this is going to be the map overall. So far, the winners are Ankara and America. So it looks like America is also a little bit bigger now. What's Korea at? They're at 1 population. A lot of them are at 1 population right now. So currently, though, America is winning with one of the nicer cities. Actually, London doesn't look that terrible either. The Australians got a nice little city set up. Hanoi looks okay. A lot of the cities look kind of the same right now. I wonder if Tirana is going to do good. Usually a lot of these desert cities like to collapse because the desert is not a very good place in this game, but so far they're doing okay, so we'll have to kind of wait and see. And the first nation has fallen. Mexico, they just couldn't, survive the desert. Which, usually, again, like I said, the desert, the snow sieves, they don't do very good. I really wish they'd update it so they would survive a little bit better. But at the moment, they don't do very good, sadly. Madrid is currently blowing up, though, so I'm assuming Spain is going to be very powerful this video. Actually, Korea. Oh, Japan fell. Whoa. That is kind of a shocker. I want to rebuild Japan. Just because Japan is kind of it's too big of a country just to like have collapse that quickly. I want Japan to make it a little bit longer than a couple minutes. So, Tokyo. Okay. We're going to rebuild Japan just because they fell way too quick. So they're going to have to play catch up. But North Korea is blowing up over here. And they have the mountains to protect them a little bit. Not a lot, but a little bit. Obviously, I have little gaps between the mountains, but overall, Korea should do fairly well, I would assume. But we'll have to kind of wait and see what happens. Actually, a lot of cities are blowing up. And Tehran is not doing too terrible for being in the desert. Some of these desert civs might actually make it. Well, unless you're these guys. Apparently, Somalia and Egypt both collapsed already. So a lot of people are already starting to die off. And America has their first colony over here. It's kind of in a weird spot, so I don't know what I should name it. We'll just name it Seattle for now. But overall, America is moving towards the west. And I think the largest city currently on the map is Toronto, Canada, which is in the snow, so it's kind of surprising. Even Stockholm is doing pretty well. But Toronto, Canada is at 40 population. They are doing extremely well for the ice. I don't think they're going to collapse. They're probably going to pose a large threat to America, so definitely be on the lookout for that. And I think Canada has settled a second city over here. It's kind of close to Seattle, so we're going to see some large warfare break out between these cities pretty soon. I would assume Seattle could win, but then again, Canada can reinforce with Toronto, and Toronto is massive, so I'm assuming Toronto is going to be the largest city on the map for quite a while. It looks like Serbia has collapsed, though, right here in the heart of Europe. So that's a pretty big death, and we even have France colonizing a little bit over here, unless that's Russia, which it is France. So France is colonizing a little bit over here by Germany. I don't know if that colony will actually survive or not, because it looks like Germany is attacking, but for right now the colony is not completely dead. So, and France is booming right now. France is the second largest city, so they're doing really good. It looks like Spain is colonizing the Panama Canal. Some of their buildings got broke down by somebody, but for right now, the colony, as long as Brazil doesn't destroy them, might do okay. And Seattle has fallen, and in its place rises a new Canadian city, so I'm assuming Canada is going to win unless America... maybe you should stick to the south a little bit, because apparently going over here is a death sentence, because Canada most likely is going to control the north. Even Stockholm's colony is not doing very well. I wonder if Russia is going to collapse, because it looks like Germany is actually starting to do a little bit better now. So I'm wondering if Russia is about to feel the pressure, and they might fall for all we know. It looks like Russia is going to start struggling if they don't start expanding quickly. Because even Morocco's capital, well, colony at least, is larger than Russia, so we're starting to see Russia not doing very good. And it looks like Australia has moved over to Papua New Guinea, and they've settled a second city. It's a fairly smart spot to settle, so I think Australia, they're not going to ever get taken over. They're just probably going to sit here and be peaceful all game, I would hope. Looks like America has colonized out here in Alaska. Let's see what they do with that. Apparently nothing, because they just got destroyed in like 2 seconds. And now Brazil will take their place, so Canada better be on the lookout for Brazil, because Brazil is a big threat to them, because they're right next to them. Major wars breaking out in Berlin. It looks like the Russians have tried to take the city. Where have we seen that before? But yeah, it looks like it was unsuccessful this time. And Russia blew up a little bit, but they aren't really expanding their city nicely. They're just kind of plopping down a lot of ugly cities, so... or ugly houses, my bad. But the Swedish colony is dead. They have just officially fallen. Sweden has lost one of their longest colony that have just been sitting here peacefully. But Morocco's colony still remains, and I think Morocco will be safe for the most part. It looks like Iran might fall, though. Iran is starting to lose a lot of houses, a lot of people. So we might be seeing a shift in the Middle East. If one of these three countries do collapse, Iran, falling will actually be a pretty significant thing to change up this region. Even India is not doing very good, but I'm assuming India is the one crippling Iran. But Hanoi might come on top if India starts struggling over here. We're probably going to see a Hanoi golden age, I would assume, but then again, China is also blowing up at the moment, so I think the days of Toronto are officially over, with a lot of Asian countries starting to blow up a little bit. And even the USA has been sticking around. I mean, yeah, they got a lot of really powerful countries next to them, like cities at least, but USA, they're not falling. They're not going to give up. And Canada, they're probably still going to win eventually, but, you know, USA, they are a fighter, and they're not going to give up from the looks of it. Even Morocco's kind of stuck in here. I've kind of been surprised they've done so good for being in the desert, but you know they're surviving the odds and they might outlast Nigeria. We'll have to see. And America is getting involved in a gigantic war. They might start to struggle. I'm assuming America is losing population like crazy. They're going down a lot. So we could be witnessing the fall of America. I don't think Canada is going to lose this war because they got 2 cities that are bigger than America. So America is going to start struggling if they don't really start expanding soon. I guess they always got this colony, but I mean, how much longer is this going to really survive? I mean, it's right next to Brazil, so if Brazil colonizes one city here, it's game over for America. Lots of people dying left and right. Is that affecting Iran or is it affecting India? I think it's affecting Iran a little bit more, but the fall of Iran, you know, Iran is still kicking, so they might survive. Oh, India wanted to colonize Mount Everest. Okay then. Why you didn't colonize south of your country instead of... Okay, I mean, I won't tell you how to run your country, but that was probably pretty dumb of you to settle right there. Some major conflicts breaking out between Hanoi and India. Hanoi is falling. Like, what in the hell happened? India crippled everybody. They fucking went sicko mode and they colonized like 50 cities. Like, what the hell's going on over here? But Hanoi, what did you guys do? You were so good, and now you just let India practically win the game with building all these cities, unless China takes them down, but it looks like China's not worrying about India, which is kind of dumb on their part, because India's going to blow up pretty soon and get really powerful. But overall, this has been a fun video to kind of watch the wars break out. I definitely think some of the ones I picked to win, we're going to look at the leaderboards, but I think definitely if we sped this up a lot of minutes, I think India would probably come out on top eventually in Asia. They might be winning right now, but I think China's a little bit stronger. In terms of Europe, I'm definitely thinking that Germany is doing the best, but it can still really go either way. I mean, even Stockholm is doing pretty good, so I'll give them that. Africa is kind of a no-duh. I think Nigeria has definitely won in Africa. South America is kind of duh. It's Brazil who won. Canada's struggling now a little bit here, but I still think Canada would eventually come out on top in the Americas. But it's kind of debatable. America could always make a comeback, but I don't really see it happening with this powerful of a 3-city wall they have right here. Canada is very powerful. But the winners are Canada, Brazil in number 2, China is in number 3, Nigeria in 4th, and Germany in 5th. So we kind of predicted the winners for the most part. Canada, Brazil, I knew Canada was going to win. Brazil, 2nd place, which is kind of surprising. But they're definitely a powerful country. China, 3rd. Nigeria should have been above China, debatably. And then Germany in 5th. So, a lot of different countries that are on this list. I'm surprised Morocco is so high on the list, but I guess they did okay. But yeah, overall, this is Raider Knight, and peace.